Hi guys, welcome to my garden. This is the third take that I'm taking of this video because I've made so many mistakes and there's been a lot of noise interruptions, so hopefully this one goes smoothly. So welcome to my garden. It is a very cold and wet Cape Town day. That's why I decided to do an indoor plant video today. Haley on Instagram suggested that I do a plant tour, even though I encouraged it. I've decided not to do one because it will take too much time and I am a little bit strapped for time today, especially with 100+ plants, but it will happen, I promise. I promise. So today I'm going to show you my 5 top indoor plants. They are my favorites for various reasons, including maintenance. Some of them are really good and easy to look after. Foliage, really love it, and it's surprisingly they're all green, which I guess I'm a green girl. So right, let's hop off to number 1. So this is a Calephia Opethia. If you've watched some of my YouTube videos, you will have seen this guy featured in them before. He can apparently get really big, and I really love big leaves and plants that have the ability to have really big leaves, because especially in my house is a double volume house. There is lots of space to fill up. I actually don't have enough big furniture to make it look very big, so I often have big plants to fill up spaces, and so I'm always looking for big leaves. So this guy I'm ready to nurture and to turn into big leaves. Opethalias are not my favorite in terms of care. They can be really difficult to look after. They need a lot of humidity. I do not have a humidifier. They are also very tricky with their water consumption. This I've learned the hard way. I overwatered this guy and the leaves literally they curled in like that. Or some of them even curled backwards quite a bit. And they sort of also drooped. They weren't drooped, or they sort of steeped up. They didn't display themselves outwards as much. You can see this guy really displays himself outwards, and that's when you know you're looking at a healthy Opethia. Look at this new little leaf, looking good. I've got some brown marks on them, you can see there. That is because it has been quite a dry, cold winter. We are almost entering summer, and summer is going to bring lots of warmth and humidity. So I'm not too worried about that with these guys. But still, such a beautiful plant, beautiful pinstripe foliage, and definitely one to look out for if you are a foliage person. A little bit tricky, but if you're willing to work on it, it'll be worth it. And I always find the best way to work on something is the moment you see something's wrong, do not continue with your same method of care. Alter something small, whether it be, okay, the soil feels quite damp, don't water for a while, or it might be a bit too light there. It just gives you a bit more flexibility in the amount of time you have to change things before your plant really gets damaged. So that's number 1, with some plant care advice. Okay, so number 2, with not so much plant care advice, because he has been quite easy to me, is this rabbit-foot fern. Very heavy. I have baby carrying arms. If you want strong muscles, have a baby. So this rabbit-foot fern, I don't know the scientific name, but it is very precious to me. It got passed on to me from my mom. I've actually got 2 of them from the same mother plant, and you can sort of see why its common name is rabbit-foot fern. It's kind of got these little tendrils, and I think we used to call it tarantula leg fern, because it actually looks more of like a tarantula. I've got a friend who gets very freaked out by them, Sophie, and she doesn't like them at all. To her I say boo-hoo, because I love them so much. I think they just look so alien. They're quite easy to look after. You can see here, little white thing there in the middle, that is a mushroom growing in there. So I obviously keep this guy quite wet, probably maybe a bit too wet, but he is pretty easy to maintain. I water him once a week, kept in low light. Yeah, really good, and I just love ferns. They just look so pretty. Okay, so that's that guy. Then this one over here, Okay, very proud of him, very proud of the pot he's in. I made the pot. Isn't that pretty? He's a big guy. Hi. Okay, so this is a Speculum Sensation. It's the same family as a peace lily. It's just much, much larger. It's basically a peace lily. Its flower looks just like a peace lily. It's just obviously much larger and just beautiful. I'm still working out how to look after this one 110%. I do water him once a week. He feels a bit dry, and I watered him less than a week ago. So I'm thinking, oh, whoops, I'm thinking he might need a bit more water. If you have a Speculum Sensation, please let me know what you do, how often you water it. He's looking quite good. He doesn't have many brown marks on him. He's looking quite healthy, shiny leaves. Yeah, so he looks quite good. Also relatively easy, but maybe that's because I'm looking after him wrongly. But I think because I've seen him flower, because his leaves don't seem to droop, they seem quite good, in good condition, I do think I'm probably doing an okay job. Okay, cool. That brings us to number 4 and 5. So they're both very similar. They're both Monsteras, Monstera deliciosa. You can't really see in the light. Maybe you can. Look at that little green shine. This is my really big Monstera. I've had him for about 5 years. He only had about three leaves when I got him, and now he is, let's count the leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and there is a very, very new one popping out somewhere there. Sorry, the lighting might be a little bit bad here. Dark light, dark light. Let's focus on the Monstera. Okay, cool. So this guy's the love of my life, apart from my husband. Sorry, husband. And I've actually done very little to maintain him. I have changed his soil maybe twice in his lifetime. I do put fertilizer sticks in the soil and water the fertilizer sticks. They last for about 100 days a time. And he's been doing really well. He's got lots and lots of aerial roots, and I'm very proud of him. He takes up a lot of space. I'm hoping he just takes up more. I haven't let him vine up anything. He's kind of more dispersed. He kind of has, he's in a corner. He's always lived in a corner. We've moved 3 times with him, but he's always been positioned in a corner, so he's dispersed outwards of the corner. But I'm very proud of him, and I also just water him once a week. Okay, cool. Then, on that Monstera Note, one of my newest additions, ta-da, is a variegated monster. Now, if you're from South Africa, these guys are not easy to get hold of. I purchased mine from Nunu plants, Nunu indoor plants. They're quite expensive, but the joy it brings me is so worth it. And the more light you give it, the more white and variegated it will become. As you can see with my Monstera behind me, also the more light you give it, the more indents apparently it will get. I think people used to say it was more about the age of the plant, but it's not true. It's more about the more of the light it gets. My delicioso monster behind me, my dark black guy there in the corner, he doesn't get a lot of light, so he has really small heart leaf shaped leaves, almost looks like a philodendron in some, well, yeah, heart leaf philodendron almost looks a bit like that in some of his leaves when they're babies. Not much light for him. He's in a dark corner. This guy I'm positioning in quite bright light to really spur on that variegation. I'm unsure of whether I'm going to let him creep or not. He is also quite easy to maintain. Water him once a week. I feel his soil is a little bit damp. I would say I should probably water him a little bit less. With me and planting, it's always a bit of trial and error. I always used to water all my plants once a week, bam, bam, bam. but then I would see a lot of the plants would suffer either from overwatering or underwatering. So now I'm becoming a little bit more specific about when I water plants, which is difficult, but the best guideline is to put your finger in the soil. Is it too wet? Is it too dry? Adjust accordingly. And when you're in a room, just feel the soil and go from there. Okay, I see this video of 5 plants has become quite long. I want to thank you so much for watching this video and taking this little tour with me for my only 5 indoor plants. I can't imagine how long 100+ indoor plants would take. Maybe you can hold my hand through that journey. But thank you so much and have a great day.